Convolution, welcome. My name's Wes, and this is Addicted to Adventure, your base camp to explore the treasures and mysteries of the adventure genre. Today we're talking about National Treasure: Edge of History. This is the new TV series on Disney+. Right now there's only 2 episodes out, but I still wanted to talk about this. I'm going to cover the high points, so there will be some spoilers, but I'm not trying to cover everything. There's going to be a lot that I'm glossing over, so, you still might want to watch the show. But anyway, with that said, you're forewarned. Let's go. Episode 1 starts in 2001 with Sadoski recording a voice message about Montezuma's treasure, which in this case is supposed to be like a Mesoamerican Library of Alexandria. He introduces an all-female secret society, an underground network of indigenous women who hid and protected Montezuma's treasure for centuries. It's kind of like the sorority that's right across the street from the Magi's fraternity. These sorority sisters hid their treasure and then put clues to its location into 3 relics, puzzle boxes. One for the Inca, one for the Maya, and one for the Aztecs. The relics are lost, but the Aztec relic is discovered in 2001 in Mexico City by Jess's dad. Jess's dad, who double-crossed someone named Salazar to get the relic, is found out by Salazar's henchmen. He gives his necklace to his baby daughter, then sends his wife and child away, giving his life to buy them time to escape. As they speed away, the mother tells the daughter, "Don't you dare grow up to be like your papi." 21 years later, we're introduced to adult Jess, who along with her best friend Tasha, a sassy YouTuber, and her 2 one-dimensional friends Oren and Ethan, are trying to solve an escape room. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that these male characters are one-dimensional. The Wikipedia page doesn't even have anything about their characters. It's just the character name and the actor that plays them. So in this case, Oren is basically, his entire personality is he's a dumbass that collects sneakers. The other one, Ethan, his entire personality is that he and Jess used to date and he's going to law school. That's it. Anyway, the real purpose of this scene is to show that Jess is a Rain Man level genius but without the autism. Then we meet our antagonist, Billy Pierce, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones, and we learn that she's on the hunt for Montezuma's treasure, specifically looking for the Aztec relic that Jess's dad found. Jess works at a storage company where her boss tasks her with finding the owner of the past due storage locker. The owner gave a false name, but Jess finds Freemason paraphernalia. Using that, her Rain Man superpowers, and Google, she's led to the home of Peter Sadoski, the 33rd degree Master Fed from the first National Treasure movie, played by Harvey Keitel. Sadoski's suffering from dementia and tends toward paranoia. Jess is there to warn Sadoski that he'll lose his property in the storage unit if he doesn't pay his back rent, but also tells him that she wants to someday do cryptanalysis for the FBI.
I can't even apply to the FBI until I'm an American citizen.
First requirement for working for the FBI is a privilege of your birthplace. That always bothered me.
Yeah, and Texas used to be Mexico. That's always bothered me.
That's true. Also, Louisiana, the state where you're standing, used to be France. What's your point? And that brings me to my biggest problem with this show. It's really rather political. There's a reason why I avoid politics like the plague on this channel. It's inherently divisive. The whole point of escapism is supposed to be that you can get away from that for just an hour or 2. You can go watch a movie and leave your baggage at the door. And hopefully, by the end, when it's time to stand up and go face the world again, your baggage feels a little bit lighter. Well, you won't get any of that here, because the protagonist is in the country illegally and faces the threat of deportation around every corner. They remind you of that constantly, and you better feel bad about it. Sadoski notices Jess's necklace given to her by her father.
Where did you get that necklace?
He gives her a letter addressed to someone named Liam and says,
I don't have much time. If I die, the secret dies with me.
Billy, who is surveilling Sadoski's house, sees Jess enter and leave. She sends fake FBI agents to harass Jess at work and find out what she knows. We learn that Agent Sadoski has died. Jess returns home to find her apartment has been searched, but nothing's been taken except for a box of Sadoski's property. Turns out that dumbass McSneakers took the box by mistake when he moved out. Jess opens the letter to find a note to Sadoski's grandson Liam and a photo taken in a Masonic lodge. Jess instantly finds the right person on social media and decides to deliver the letter to Liam, who plays music at a local bar.
So if he decides to thank you with a cup of overpriced coffee, you just keep an open mind about that.
I do keep an open mind. It's the guys that get all weird when I tell them I don't have papers.
Oh. Was I supposed to be checking that? Thank goodness we never made it past the credit check. She tries to give the letter to Liam, but it's clear that Liam and Peter Sadoski were estranged, and Liam refuses the letter. Jess deduces that the Masonic gavel shown in the photograph, which she happens to have in her possession, is the key to a puzzle, so she and Tasha set off towards the Baton Rouge Masonic Lodge. They lie and claim to be cleaning crew, bluffing their way into the lodge with a secret Masonic handshake.
What was that?
Secret Masonic handshake.
When did you become a Freemason?
I didn't. I just saw it in the photo.
Jess Rainmans her way through the puzzle in no time, finding the ancient Aztec artifact hidden by Sadoski.
Oh my God.
I've said this before, but easy answers to puzzles are not satisfying. Compare this with the Meerschaum pipe scene in the first National Treasure movie. In that, Nicolas Cage has to actually work through the riddle on the Meerschaum pipe. And even though that scene barely takes longer than this one, as a result of him having to hammer his way through it, the results are satisfying because they had to be earned. This scene does not feel satisfying. This scene feels contrived. Anyway, Tasha points out that the symbol on the artifact is the same as that on Jess's necklace. Jess gets a phone call from Billy demanding the artifact. Jess refuses. Billy reveals that she lured dumbass McSneakers in with some limited edition shoes. In a final scene, the man called Salazar is supposedly planning a prison escape and has a sketch of the symbol on Jess's necklace. And that's the first episode. In episode 2, dumbass McSneakers tries to leave and Billy takes him hostage. They set up an exchange, the relic for their friend, at the USS Kid gift shop. Jess decides to go to the FBI to report the kidnapping, despite Tasha's protests.
They're gonna need some detail.
Yeah, but not every detail. Do you really want to tell the U.S. government that you stole that relic from a Masonic lodge?
I didn't steal it. I found it.
Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that's a solid legal defense. Anyway, they talk to the new Fed in town, Agent Ross. They aren't completely forthcoming, and as a result, Agent Ross thinks their report is a prank on the new guy. Time is short, so they leave for the exchange at the USS Kid Museum. On the bus, Jess once again unleashes her Rainman powers to open the ancient Aztec puzzle box. This scene bothers me. This is another puzzle that Jess solves with the minimum of effort. In this case, she makes up a little story involving the symbols on the box about the sun and a rabbit and a briar patch, and it just happens to be correct. This is stupid. Inside the box, the surfaces look like pieces of a map. They hatch a plan to hide something in the box that will trigger the anti-theft systems at the museum gift shop, but they arrive just as the MP on duty heads to the bathroom. Tasha goes to get the MP while Jess stashes a souvenir keychain in the puzzle box.
Excuse me, but you can't be in here. This is the men's room.
Well, excuse me for not being beholden to binary systems of oppression.
The women's room is just down the hall.
You don't want to get me started on the misogynistic placements of the female facilities. Okay.
But I had nothing to do with that decision.
Oh, so since it wasn't your decision, you just get to ignore how gender stereotypes keeps our society locked in a cycle of patriarchal advantages?
Fuck! Billy arrives and Jess stalls until the MP can return. They make the exchange and Billy sets off the alarm, but nothing comes of it. She hands off the relic and the most incompetent MP in the military lets her go.
I'm gonna have to look inside your purse.
I don't have a purse, officer.
I'm sorry. You're good to go, ma'am.
Thank you.
The group returns home to lick their wounds, and they decide to continue with their quest. Dumbass McSneakers, who acted like a complete coward before, is now gung-ho for the treasure hunt. This is probably a good place to mention that I have a problem with a lot of these characters. Not Jess necessarily, but her friends. Not only do I not care about them, I'm starting to actually dislike them.
But now that I'm safe, all I want to do is help Jess decode secret maps, hunt for long-lost gold, find the X that marks the spot. Y'all, this is a real deal Holyfield treasure hunt.
Cringe.
Jess returns to Sadoski's house, which has been willed to grandson Liam, where she knocks down a book which opens to the exact page she needs. I'm sorry, but that's more coincidence than I can chew on. Just then, Liam bursts in, thinking Jess is an intruder. They argue, she leaves. Billy discovers that Jess put a souvenir keychain inside the Aztec puzzle box, meaning she knows Jess figured out how to open it. She directs her henchmen to dig into Jess's life with a microscope. A bunch of inconsequential stuff happens. Agent Ross begins looking into Sadoski's death, but it's told off by her boss. Jess gets fired from her job at the storage company, gets a new job at the bar where Liam plays music, except the same day, Liam gets fired from his live music gig and decides to give Jess access to Sadoski's secret library full of clues about the treasure hunt. Liam shows Jess an unpublished academic paper related to the treasure where most of the clues originated. That paper was written by Jess's mother, Manuela. So firstly, I think there are seeds here for a halfway decent story. It's early yet, so we don't know if it'll go anywhere particularly rewarding, but it has potential, and I'm happy about that. I really think probably the number one thing that would make me like the show a little bit better is to focus more on the fun and less on the politics. I don't feel like I need to be beat over the head with a political agenda. That's just my opinion. As it sits, I'm annoyed with some of the characters. I'm annoyed with the politics. But the story also just started to get interesting. So far I am planning to actually keep watching. And I do hope that it gets better. Right now, if I were to give the show a grade so far, I would say that it's probably a C. And again, I hope that improves. I'm really curious to know if you feel the same way. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like what I'm doing here, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. And until next time, fortune and glory, my friends.